What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MontyVerse. Today we are checking out episode 2 of Secret Invasion, and last episode ended pretty shockingly. So Nicki, are you ready for this episode?
I'm ready for this. I think that's an understatement.
Yeah, I wonder why you're so ready. Skrul?
I plead the fifth?
Okay, whatever, guys. Starting episode 2 of Secret Invasion right now. Oh, 1995.
I'm Nick Fury. Been riding the desk for the past 6 years.
I was
trying to figure out where
born.
our future enemies are coming from.
Official SHIELD activity.
Never occurred to me they would be coming from above.
This thing looked like Coulson. Talked like him, too.
Shapeshifters.
We can't trust anyone, not even our own men. My people lived as refugees, homeless.
Talos.
Sorry, this is just the beginning.
They won't be safe here.
Now we know how that went.
Yeah, that's weird. For a recap of Captain Marvel, there was very little Captain Marvel in that recap.
Yeah. I mean, my assumption is they wanted to keep the focus on Fury and Talos.
Oh, okay.
Though.
So, because we jumped to 97. Good year. Good year. Oh, de-aged. Oh, wow.
This is Gravik.
Gravik.
Ooh.
His parents were killed in the last stand against the Kree.
Well, I guess that answers that.
Well, there goes my theory.
Piloted a ship all on his own. He is smart, Fury. Knows how to survive.
He's a child.
Only to human eyes. Just talk to him.
Man, that young Fury looks good.
Mm-hmm. Is it weird that he looks better than in the movie?
Sorry to hear about your parents.
Hmm.
Or about the same, at least.
I'm sure they did. To work here, very dangerous.
I'm not afraid.
Luckily, he
I
was
can see
born
you
with a
now.
British accent.
In fairness, Talos already had one.
I know.
So maybe it's
I
just a
know.
Skrull thing.
I want to
Oh.
Thank
or am
you
I
all.
missing the joke?
for joining me. You know, it's been a rough journey. We went looking for a home, found nothing but violence and hate. All of us have lost someone, or everyone, and our entire species is scattered across the galaxy. For those of you who braved the journey here to Earth for one reason, this man, I trust. You know I don't use that word lightly.
Thank you, Talos. My friends, almost ever since I met Talos, I believed that humans and Skrulls can help each other. The world is facing a serious threat, and I could use your help. It would mean putting on a new face and keeping it. This is the promise. While you work to keep my home safe, Carol Danvers and I will find you a new one. We'll
She
be
got
first to pick.
mentioned pretty blatantly, though.
Yeah, it's weird. I thought they weren't in that much contact.
And at least Soren is in the show.
Yes.
You have a courageous mother, Gaia.
Oh, okay. A little puppy love, maybe?
You keep your word, I'll keep mine.
Oof. Tense exchange.
I'm an American. I'm an American.
I'm an American. See, I thought that was Talos that grabbed him at the end of the
no.
last episode.
Oh, in the last episode? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I'm an American.
I don't know what he expects that to do right now.
Oh, okay, it was.
Whoa!
Okay.
You were like,
Whoa.
you were right for the wrong reason.
I was right, but then I forgot that Skrulls could shapeshift for a minute. Whoa, is that Scooter McGavin himself?
You mean Shooter McGavin?
Shooter McGavin. Oh my god. It's early. It's so weird because I was going to do the finger pistols too, so...
Once again, right for the wrong reasons.
my brain needs to start working now.
I'll be the judge of that.
Okay, Skrull. That looks like Tony Stark.
With the mustache
If
and
Tony Stark
everything.
was made of vomit.
I see what you did there. I mean, I do like this music a lot, though.
Yes, the score is great. But I think the score for the majority of the TV shows have been really awesome. I mean, I loved Miss Marvel's score. I loved Loki's score.
I just love how epic this one sounds.
Yes. I still can't get over how great young Fury looked. It's probably just because Sam Jackson just looks so good for his age. They just probably just did nothing. They probably just gave him a wig, and they're just like, here you go, Sam. Saved money on CGI.
В поезде Москва-Варшава здесь больше шансов встретить инопланетянина.
Or both.
Same time. Sick hat.
Ooh, I think you have one that looks like that.
Probably. I love how they're just overcompensating for his eye patch by just giving him all these different accessories.
Train travel back then wasn't nowhere near this elegant. Coming out of Alabama, we always had to ride in the color car. On these long rides, me and my mother would make up games, pass the time. Tell me something I don't know. That was one of her favorites.
Is this the first time we've ever heard about his own family?
No, remember in Winter Soldier, he bought a house in his mother's name, didn't he?
Man, it's been a while since I've seen it.
Jackson's bond. Suffice it to say, I wasn't about to tell her about that. So I made up something crazy. Me and Susie saw a bullfrog with polka dots. The mere fact that I did that told her everything she needed to know about me and Susie. Tell me something I don't know about the destruction of Skrulls.
We were overpowered by the Kree. We held them off for as long as we could. When we couldn't hold them off any longer, the million of us that were left, we fled.
Tell me something I don't know about the Skrulls that fled.
They're here.
Who's here?
All of us.
Wait. You're telling me there's 1 million Skrulls walking amongst us right now? Have you lost your reptilian ass mind?
Every Skrull that isn't in Emperor George's colony, they answered.
Okay.
You lied to me.
Hey, we were being hunted across the universe, summoning them here to Earth. What would you have done?
This ain't about me.
Oh, right, but you fine using us as your spies and your errand boys, long as it's on your terms.
The host gets to set the terms of the visitation.
What happens when the host disappears? Huh? Because you were gone. And I didn't think you were coming back. I really didn't. And you know what? Even when you did come back, there was no talking to you about anything real. And oh, it's too heavy here, man. I gotta go up to my space station. You've been up there for years.
And you didn't because you didn't want me to know.
Oh, snap.
Skrulls and humans can coexist here on Earth.
Humans can't coexist with each other, Talos. You've been here long enough to know
That's
that.
true.
We've been at war with each other since we could walk upright. There is not enough room or tolerance on this planet for another species.
Wow. That got
Matter of
very
fact,
real,
leave this to
very
State
heavy.
Department. I think this is your stuff.
No, dude, that's your bro. You're just upset because of Maria, and you don't want to talk about it. Is this show just going to be filled with all these wonderful little actors that pop up as Skrull disguises?
Probably.
Sure, you gotta let it out.
Not good to keep things in.
No.
So that was a good step. Just, I don't know if his final action was the best.
Her mom?
Elizabeth?
Were you there?
Yeah.
How did it happen?
She died in Moscow. We were there trying to stop the attack. Someone set a trap.
For her?
Oh, for me. Someone wanted to hurt me.
So, you're the reason I'm taking my daughter back home in a box.
I'm sorry I couldn't protect her, Elizabeth.
You're Nick Fury. Maria believed in you. She would have followed you to the gates of hell and back. I don't know what Maria died for out there. But whatever it was, don't let it be for nothing.
They're all saying we had something to do with Moscow. No way that Moscow attack was committed by Americans. This has got false flag written all over it.
What a role for him to be.
What a role, what a show. This was it. We needed Shooter McGavin. And his brother, Scooter McGavin.
Oh no.
How did you know Fury would be there?
I didn't. Well, not to a certainty. I wanted to see how much of him was left.
And?
Dark.
It's just vapors. old. You know, I could have killed him if I wanted to. You don't punish a man by giving him what he wants. You just get me to the council meeting.
That's dark.
Their faces while Moscow's still burning.
Man, I like Gravik so far. I think one of the problems of the Disney Plus shows is they take a very long time to really build to the villains, whereas this show started like building Gravik from episode 1.
Which you have to if it's only 6 episodes.
True.
But no, you're completely right now that I think about some of the other shows and how delayed some of them were.
That's not happening.
I'm not out in an hour. Shoot him in the head.
Yeah, shoot him in the head.
He just takes it like a champ.
Seems someone didn't get us just a tire memo.
Well, I also didn't get a formal invitation, Mr. Secretary General. But I'm sure that was just a curious oversight.
I trust I speak for the group when I say we are all happy to have you with us. Please, sit.
I see you, all dressed up in the man's finery, playing the man's game, using the man's fork and knife.
Better to behave as a human than as a dog.
I quite like dogs.
Nice.
In fact, I prefer them.
I don't blame
Dogs
him.
aren't hypocrites. And they don't lie.
I think I'm Team Gravik now.
Are you done?
Perhaps we should get on with what we came here for.
What the hell gives you the right to disobey this council?
Nushkim pix krolos mitchorakias. Wudrikag makel mekik. Kajbajua shush kajushak lakikuk. Chirog chechom kust. Kajushat mushamp. Pirohag kajak. Garuma arwar mij nas kajak. Pech nas pashach.
Oof.
Got such a presence.
I think it's a war. I think it's a war. And unlike the last war each one of us around this table fought in, I'm not going to lose this one. Long before we arrived on this planet, they were destined to consume themselves.
That's not an
So for anyone
unreasonable
flinching
theory.
at the thought of innocent deaths, let me assure you, we're only hastening the inevitable.
And what happens if the Avengers return?
You don't think I thought about that?
Oh.
Put your faith in me, and I promise.
Has an Avenger been a
your loyalty
Skrull
will be repaid.
this entire time?
It's possible now.
Which one?
Well, Madam Prime Minister,
Democracy is fine for peacetime, but whilst at war, we need a single commander.
What is this, Star Wars?
Therefore, I nominate Gravik.
You were in on this with him the entire time.
Sit yourself down, Sergio. I'm not done yet.
I'm the commander of NATO. I can mobilize 1 million troops at the snap of a...
Oh!
Shall I remove him, madame?
Oh, I don't think he'll be any more trouble.
It's just wild to see how high in the
All those
power
in favor
hierarchy of the
Gravik
world
as our new general.
the Skrulls have infiltrated.
We'll submit.
Over 30 years.
Yeah.
They got a lot done.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Skruller McGavin. Skrull.
Nice.
It's so interesting, like, this almost parallels the first Avengers movie with the World Security Council.
Forgotten our history. I will not support your war, and I do not submit.
if I had another 100 like you, I could take on the universe. You go in peace, sister. You'll not be harmed.
It's so interesting to see that, like, not all of them are on board with his ideas.
No, because we saw that they're not as... That was the big swerve in Captain Marvel, that they weren't as aggressive and nefarious as we assumed they would be. Not that Gravik is nefarious.
Right, I'm saying, like, the Kree were clearly trying to put on certain airs that were not true.
Yeah, they were just refugees of a war.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Talos embodies that.
Mm-hmm.
It's Gravik. The council just voted him general. If there's anything I can do.
Yeah, set up a meet between me and Gravik. Set up the meet. Just tell him I want to talk about my daughter.
The mate.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious, Talos. And don't call me Shirley.
Well, what would I call you then?
That's your name.
I know, she didn't get to shoot the guy in the head.
I know. What a waste.
This is like one of those awkwardly long cheers.
Yeah.
Where it's like people don't know, like, okay, at what point do we stop because no one else is.
That just, oh my god, that clap is great. Just that robotic, like, he's keeping the same tempo and everything. Who's that guy looking at? There's no one behind her. Science.
Whoa.
You don't have it.
Harvest wasn't there.
This phase would be over.
So was I.
Phase 5 just
Gravik
started.
has given me multiple locations for the harvest, all of them empty.
Harvest. This can only mean one thing. Super Skrulls.
Here in London.
Oh, Dermot Mulroney.
Dermot Mulroney and the always wonderful Don Cheadle.
I agree with that statement.
Respectfully, Prime Minister, I can't take the authenticity of Russian-supplied photos at face value. However, I will be more than happy to have them analyzed at our facilities at Langley. Slovakia rolls its eyes at me one more time, I'm gonna put on the suit and carpet bomb it.
Why are you?
Oh, God.
Well, I'm here as a courtesy, Madam Prime Minister. President Ritson has a pretty busy day job running the most powerful country and military on the face of the planet. He doesn't just hop to when summoned. Not by France, not by Italy, not by the UK. Until such time as you can present an actual shred of evidence to back those concerns up, I'm afraid sensitivity is all you're going to be getting from us. Right?
You just got Rhodey'd.
Did you just make that up now?
Yep. I'm very proud of myself.
Rhodes.
Nice suit, Armani.
Like the other one better.
Pretty expensive for a government salary.
Yeah, well, my other suit's made of titanium, so this actually constitutes considerable savings.
Oh, so he officially has a bigger role here than he did in Falcon the Winter Soldier.
Yes.
Drink, that sound good?
You sound frustrated. What's the matter? Croatia talking crap?
Now gunning for the supporting actor nomination.
Burner's Tavern.
Should I be worried about poison?
I literally was just
Should
thinking
be
that.
worried about spending the rest of your days in a Siberian retirement community. 2,000 dead so far. Number will probably triple once they clear all the rubble. Meaning you not only set the stage for World War III, but you simultaneously flipped all of our allies to Team Russia.
How well do you know your security detail?
I know they're catching bullets first if I get shot at.
What if I told you they were all spies?
Spies for who? The Russians? Hydra?
Yeah, if Hydra was a bunch of green guys who could shapeshift into your daddy. So how long have you known about them?
About 15 years ago, I was part of an eyes-only top-secret presentation. It's about a shape-shifting alien species that the Pentagon was concerned that they might get into their heads to invade us one day from the inside.
That invasion is real. It's happened.
That's not possible.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, but it's true. We're being invaded and we can't even tell who the invaders are. Moscow was just the beginning.
Maybe we should call our friends.
No. We can't jump the gun on that. You know, we get them in a fight with the Skrulls, and next thing you know, they find themselves duplicated and turned into terrorists. I need you to back me on this.
It's also smart.
I can't do it.
Don't bring in the
In our
superheroes.
business, there's only what you can do and what you will not.
By protecting our seat at the table.
Are you forgetting who helped you get your seat at the table?
Oof.
Oh, so I owe you now? Is that it?
We owe each other. Alexander Pierce's who run this world
Name
was
drop.
earned in blood. So let's make the power mean something. Help a brother out.
Carl's outside. Colonel.
Colonel Rose will let you know when he's ready to go.
The car's for you, Fury.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know I had travel plans.
The world is on the line. The enemy is 1,000,000 times more dangerous than Hydra, but they can only be vanquished by you. And you want me to make the power mean something by helping a brother out. The reason we wrestled this power from mediocre men who don't look like us was not simply to turn around and hand it to mediocre men who do. It's to be uncompromising, to be unsparing, to be able to sit across from a man we greatly admire and to tell him without any reservation that he's fired.
Oh my,
my
That's what this
God.
moment right here, right now is about, Nick.
Wow.
What
Savage.
a speech, honestly.
Is it you to fire me?
I volunteer.
Is Rhodey a Skrull?
Not to put too fine a point on this,
Potentially,
but that mess
but
that you created in Moscow that resulted in getting one of our best people murdered, you earned all this smoke, brother.
Oh my god, that's super, like, messed up.
if that is a Skrull, they're putting on a hell of a performance.
Rhodey's talking out of turn right now.
Are you seriously under the impression that just because you stripped me of my titles, I relinquished my DNA?
Oh.
Gosh.
I wonder why you're out.
Even when I'm out, I'm in.
Nice. Yeah, Rhodey.
Also, not great security detail.
Also, kinda not boys with Rhodey right now.
No.
That was like, I know he's just doing his job. That was super aggressive.
Yes.
Here comes Olivia Colman in to steal another scene.
Yes, and now that the door is unlocked, what does that tell you about me indoors?
Where is your safe house? Speak!
Didn't your mother ever warn you could lose an eye by beating your meat like that?
What are you doing here?
Oh, I'm taking over.
This guy is just, he's going for it.
Why do you need to know that?
Oh, just a hunch. Oh, wonderful. Okay. Make yourself scarce.
This man just hanging his jacket.
Ew, it's touching the raw meat, though.
Next to pork, he's gonna get trichinosis.
That's disgusting.
The other way it is.
Oh gosh! Wow! They actually showed it.
Well, now that's confirmed.
Is this MA, possibly?
Yeah. Well, you cut off a finger. It's not T for teen, that's for sure.
But here's the problem. If he could break out the chains, why didn't he just do that immediately before she could have done that?
Whoa! They are building super Skrulls. Extreme. Oh my god, they have an Extremis soldier.
You're wasting your time. I'll never talk to you.
Well, that's very brave. But everyone talks when their blood starts to cook at 160 degrees centigrade.
Gosh.
Okay, so was he just bullshitting about the chains then?
Right, no, I didn't think so.
Go ahead. Put it on my arm. I don't care.
My god, she's so good.
Oh god.
This guy's really starting to annoy me. I don't know what it is. He's just got a face that just annoys me. And he's...
Oh!
Yeah, they just focused right in on that
Tell
nub.
me the location of Gravik's compound.
Building a machine.
What kind of machine?
I think it's to make us stronger.
Super Skrulls. Well, I mean, yeah, that was pretty obvious that we were gonna end up here eventually.
Yeah.
In the car. Keep the engine running.
This guy's killed it.
I was gonna say, what the hell?
Oh.
No, not the sausage.
Well, that's contaminated. Yes, break the glass to shoot him, but then worry about the bell. All that meat
Sounds like your lift is
spoiled.
I'm just gonna go and check round back.
Oh, cool. I'll come with.
No, you stay here. They might come out with Brogan.
How very Dostoevsky.
Man, she's great.
What'd you tell him?
Nothing, just lies.
Just lies.
That's all, I swear.
Take him to the car.
Hmm.
Did we make it home, Peyton? Almost there, bro.
Savage.
I mean, we knew that was coming, though.
Yeah, we knew. We knew, but that doesn't mean I kind of like it.
I don't think anyone said anything about liking it.
Skrulls, they're just as bad as humans.
Wow, you think?
Ooh, he's like, I know. It's like, but maybe I'm gonna use you for me.
Wait, how do you get this car?
It's Nick Fury. He's got stuff all over the place. He's like a dog. He's got bones buried all over the place.
Wild.
obviously like a older model.
Oh,
Land
yeah.
Rover.
Yeah.
Sick house.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she only eats green things because she's a Skrull?
Wow.
I just love the contrast of cutting a cucumber at a Skrull cutting a cucumber. What? You don't think this is his wife? Just kind of like walked right in.
I mean, we also know he's allies with the Skrulls, so maybe there are still some who like him. Well, I love her books are coordinated.
Color coordinated, yes. That's very satisfying to the eye. Also, just it's such a wonderful design aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't you forgetting something?
Aww.
This is I told you so. I was right.
Better.
Half right.
I was gonna say, you're not 100%.
Close enough.
Aww. What a bizarrely sweet moment to end on,
What
though.
a very tender moment to end on.
About one aspect.
I was right. I called it last week that Fury was going to have a Skrull wife.
Yes.
I was wrong about Gravik. But technically I wasn't, because Gravik was like maybe like a son to him.
Yes.
So take that, YouTubers. I was right. I was right enough. I was right enough to be wrong about some things. How do you pause that? Okay, there we go. Really good episode.
Oh yeah.
Another really strong. This one was more of the like political intrigue that we were promised as part of the show. The first episode was kind of like the introduction, a little bit of reintroduction into the espionage side of Marvel. This is, oh, we're full on political thriller now. This is a high stakes game that we're playing, and the stakes are World War III, which is pretty high stakes, if you ask me.
I would very much agree with that in terms of those being high stakes.
Those are very high stakes. So it looks like Gravik. We also got some pretty big reveals this episode as well. It looks like Gravik is designing a machine to turn regular Skrulls into what we comic fans know as Super Skrulls, which are Skrulls imbued with the DNA of superpowered individuals. The first Super Skrull obviously had the abilities of all the members of the Fantastic Four. Since we don't know what's going on with them in the MCU, that is not going to be the case. It looks like they have Groot's DNA, they have Cull Obsidian's DNA from Infinity War, and they have a Frost Giant's DNA as well. I don't know when a Frost Beast was on Earth. I'm sure I'm forgetting a moment.
Maybe. I was gonna say, Loki technically has been on Earth.
Loki, yeah, but it was very specifically a Frost Beast.
Oh.
And they're obviously using like appendages that were discarded during battle. So maybe it just was there during the Endgame battle.
I was gonna say, like, we've seen all the debris from battles all over.
And also, a little reference to Iron Man 3, they have an Extremis soldier that they're also using the DNA for. So that was really cool, and it looks like we're going to be getting some Super Skrulls. I really like that was kind of the explanation for why there aren't superheroes in this show, which is great. And it's also a very smart explanation, because once you start introducing beings like Thor and Captain Marvel into the mix, God forbid their DNA gets taken, then we're in big trouble. Can you imagine like an army of Captain Marvels?
Or like the point that Fury just made off the bat is then they get impersonated and are considered terrorists.
Yeah, and we don't want that again. I mean, it happened to Cap already in the Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Which there was a lot of references to in this episode. We get the Alexander Pierce name drop. We get Hydra mentioned like 5 times by Rhodey in that disrespectful speech he gave to Fury. And also I found the moment with the Security Council and Gravik to be kind of like a mirror image of when Alexander Pierce confronts the Security Council in The Winter Soldier, except they were all like, hey, you're crazy. And Nick Fury was there to stop him before he had the opportunity to kind of, you know, force them all to join his plan.
Right.
Project Insight. Whereas this one, there was no Nick Fury to stop Gravik or Talos from going like, hey, I'm the boss now.
Yeah.
I'm the captain now. So I really found that an interesting little parallel between this and that. Like, oh, you had Fury there now, and you had Captain America there, but now you don't have anyone. No Nat, no Fury, no Maria Hill. All gone. All of these people are gone except Sam. But he's off being the new Captain America. So I really loved that little parallel between that movie and this, and I found that really interesting.
Clearly, I need to rewatch Winter Soldier.
I've watched Winter Soldier so many times because it's quite possibly one of my, if not, days it rotates, but it may be one of my favorite, if not my favorite MCU movie.
Wow.
It's just a perfect film in my mind. And Captain America is obviously my favorite Marvel superhero. Steve and Sam, I love them both equally. Just love Captain America and everything that he stands for. So I'm very familiar with what the happenings in those movies. So I really liked seeing that parallel, but also I'm really curious because there were a lot of names dropped in here. I can't remember. I don't remember there being an Emperor Droog of any importance in Marvel Comics in relation to the Skrulls, because we were told that he also has Skrulls that are following him, that are part of his, detail. So I don't remember him. And I don't think the Daltons have any significance that are creating the Super Skrulls in Marvel Comics. But again, I can't remember all almost 100 years of Marvel comic data in my brain. So of course, if anyone has anything that they want to share with me, drop it in the comments and I'd be happy to take a look at it and help me out. It was nice getting more of Maria Hill's backstory. We see her mother. We got a lot more backstory on both Hill and Fury.
Oh yeah, and that was one of my favorite parts of the episode. Between meeting her mom and then honestly that little anecdote that Fury had, while it led into a more tense moment with him and Talos, I still really enjoyed getting that tidbit.
Yeah, because we've heard, and it's not the first time that Fury has used anecdotes about his family in the context of espionage and how he does his spy game, because he did the same thing to Steve in The Winter Soldier. In the elevator on the way to see Project Insight, he brought up the story about, I believe it was his father, and about how he walked home every day with a bag full of singles, and then he also in the bag he had a pistol in it, because he trusted people, but he also wanted to be safe. He also wanted to protect what was his. So it's really good to see the shades of Fury that we already got in other Marvel properties come out again, and it feels very in character, and it feels very cohesive with the characterization of Nick Fury that we've gotten in the MCU so far. Also, I really like building upon the Talos Fury relationship, because we saw the good aspects of that last episode. They have amazing chemistry together. Sam Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn, great chemistry. My gosh, I would love to see more of those buddy cop moments between the two of them.
Oh yeah.
But this episode does a really good job of tying us back to Captain Marvel.
Yes.
And showing us how that relationship has built over the past 30 years.
Well, and that's the thing. They have so many holes to fill because we've barely seen the Skrulls outside of Captain Marvel.
Yes.
And there was clearly a lot of shit that went down in those intervening years. And having that little flashback that explained Gravik's situation pretty succinctly, all things considered, I think was very effective in how they utilized it. And the explanation of, okay, we know they were looking for a home, so what the hell happened?
Yeah, speaking of Gravik, this episode did a really good job of continuing his immense presence that was felt in the first episode. I mean, maybe I'm being a little grandiose in saying immense presence, but like I said, Gravik, I think so far is one of the better villains in the Disney Plus series.
Oh, easily.
Because they're doing such a great job of explaining him and his goals and his beliefs very early on in the series, so that we're kind of looking at things from his perspective a lot of the times, and we're also getting to know him and maybe hate him or understand him depending on your perspective of the series so far. And I really appreciate that, because a lot of these Disney Plus series are very inconsistent with the buildup of the villains. And I think so far, Gravik has had a consistent build-up and a consistent force in the show, and I really appreciate that. He's definitely moving the plot forward and keeping us on the edge of our seats, as well as Nicholas J. Fury.
I was gonna say, for the amount of supporting characters in the show, I think they're so far juggling them pretty well.
Yes.
And tying them together very effectively because, yeah, they abruptly introduced Christopher McDonald in this episode and the British Prime Minister, but we already kind of see where they tie in because what we were worried about this whole time, have Skrulls infiltrated other parts of of global politics? And yes, they have.
Yes, they have. High levels. The head of NATO, the British Prime Minister is a Skrull. Is the president a Skrull? Maybe. Probably, because we're getting a new president in the new Captain America movie. We know that. Marvel basically told us that Ross is going to be the president in Captain America New World Order. So, is Dermot Mulroney a Skrull? I don't know, guys. Have you seen the last movie he was in? Probably. Probably.
That would be there's no way it's going to be in this. What a nod that would be, though.
What a nod that would be, especially, we can't really say, we can't expand upon that without spoiling it. Let's not. But, yeah, Dermot, watching you, bro. Not I guess. Not in real life.
Maybe it's
in this show.
Right. Maybe for all we know, he was a Skrull in that movie as well.
Maybe. We're merging the universes here, people. But, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the president was a Skrull. I wouldn't be surprised if Rhodey's a Skrull. But beyond that, that line by Gravik, touching on Rhodey being a Skrull, that line by Gravik, oh, what if the Avengers come back? Don't you think I've already thought of that? Is that an implication? Is he implying, I've thought of that by creating the Super Skrull program? Or I've thought of that by already infiltrating the Avengers?
Or both.
Has an Avenger been a Skrull this whole time? And when you look at that, there's really only two options. There literally is only two options at this point. Clint or Bruce, Hulk or Hawkeye. The two H's, double H, Hulk and Hawkeye. Or, which would be the ultimate, it would anger a lot of people. One of the ones that died was a Skrull. Tony Stark was a Skrull, and the real Tony Stark is in prison somewhere, and that's how you get RDJ back in the MCU. I do not want that, but I have to throw that out there as a possibility.
I think just even the idea that it's possible is what's the most terrifying, and I think is the point they're trying to hammer home a lot in the show so far. And I think, in a way, whether that's the intention or not, sowing the seed of that distrust is going to work in their favor.
Yeah, and also another thing that would be sick and twisted that I just thought about is that instead of doing that to bring Tony back into the MCU, what if they did the opposite and they made us believe that he was back in a scene with Rhodey and it's just a Skrull playing Rhodey?
I thought you meant Tony.
Well, yeah, as Tony playing Rhodey.
Oh, yeah.
Just trying to mentally mess with Rhodey.
Oh, yeah, I could see them doing that.
Rhodey, why didn't you say a playback to the original Iron Man? Rhodey, why didn't you come save me? I've been captured this whole time. And he's like, what have I done?
Right. But again, I think that's where they have the manipulation advantage.
And if RDJ does somehow have a special guest starring role in 30 seconds of an episode, people will lose their minds.
They will, but at least again in that capacity, it's at least it makes sense, and it's not. By all means, it's gonna be a little bit fan servicey no matter what.
Yeah.
That would still be kind of cool.
It would be very cool, very very cool, and it would definitely show off the capabilities of the Skrulls. So, which is great. But I think this episode did a good job of escalating the threat level of the series so far and pushing the plot forward.
Right.
I'm really excited for the next couple episodes to see where the story goes.
No, absolutely. I think so far, this has to be, maybe I'm just speaking a little bit too, maybe I'm overly praising it. I think in terms of 2 consecutive episodes, this one is keeping the momentum probably a little bit better than a lot of the other Disney Plus series, where I think a lot of them have a little bit greater variance in quality from episode to episode. So far, I think they're on the right path, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Each episode ends with something that really keeps us engaged until next week. Last episode was the death of Maria Hill. This episode, Nick Fury married.
Aww.
So really excited to see what's that all about, because we've known nothing about Fury, but somehow I knew that he was married to a Skrull because I'm that good at this.
hey, we know he had we know he was connected to the Skrulls and was
Yes.
protective of them.
More connected than we thought.
And I wonder, like, even though Gravik may not be his son, that might play even more into it.
He's not Gravik's stepdad, he's the dad that stepped up. But if you guys like this video, check out our other Secret Invasion reaction to the left of us on screen, I believe it's gonna be. And until next time, guys, stay versed.